speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regret.
Good afternoon. It's Friday. That means it's almost weekend. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to weekend, even though it's been a quite short work week this week. It still feels like, yeah, I'm ready for weekend, basically. Happy Friday, everybody. Indeed, Megan, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Revenant. Happy Friday, Susan. And hello, happy Friday. I hope you're all having had a good week so far. I don't know what to say except for, oh my goodness, the weather is a boiling hot here, and I am so happy that we are still having it somewhat cool inside compared to outdoors. It's nuts, like, and they're expecting thunderstorms, as well. So yeah. As you can see right now, the temperatures are mostly cloudy with a temperature of 91 degrees Fahrenheit here in the Netherlands. That's about 33 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from south-southwest at 13 miles per hour. It is getting windy and it is getting thunderstorms later today. This evening we will have thunderstorms. So yeah, and the only reason I am able to have my long sleeve done right now is because I'm indoor and I'm not wearing any shoes. My floor is cold, so I can cool off on my floor. And I somehow just, I guess, feel nicer with the shirt on, which is a bit of a surprise. But it is only like maybe around 80-ish or so indoor, which is a lot better. So that's like mid-20s, I guess, low 20s. Anyhow, so yeah, the sun is shining and it's warm and it's humid and it's summer. So I have been busy since last time. I have been working. And right now, I'm actually at a cake change, which is why I haven't progressed further. Because it's like, oh, I should do that before I do anything else. And then that's kind of it. And meanwhile, I needed like a couch project. So I also did start a couch project, which is a baby version of the rainbow bucket hats I made. So I have that laying, but I didn't get that far, right? Like, I only made the crown, and I need to decide if I am going to increase the crown further or not, and try to figure out if I will have enough yarn to do so. for the final project. It's like a maybe. It's not the most important right now, but yeah. So right now I'm actually at a loose end. Maybe I should actually stand up and show you guys how this one looks before I continue today, because I'm free of any cakes. That's a good idea. Rev says, I often wonder how long before Europeans realize summers are just going to keep getting hotter and hotter and for longer and start installing central air conditioning. Yeah, well, it's expensive as well to get installed. I was debating on it last year, but thing is, we've had quite some bills in this house this year. My partner has gotten those nasty tax bills, taxations. They believe that he has some sort of an income that he's not guaranteed of. So he has to prepay his taxes based on the income they expect him to get. And that means that he's in a different tax bracket, and he got some, like, he had some nasty tax bills to pay, basically. So there has not been much there. I am still not on a permanent contract with my employer, which means that I am very of big expenses, in the sense of I'd like to make sure that I have a permanent contract first, which, if I get that, will first be in the autumn. If I do get that, we are likely going to look at maybe getting air conditioning, because the benefit of the air conditioning units today is that they can also heat. And the benefit of something that can also heat, is basically that we will use less of the gas heating, which is also quite expensive, especially after the Russia-Ukrainian war. So that's kind of how it looks at. But I said I'm going to get up and start for you guys, just to show you guys absolutely this a freaking gorgeous shawl. I am going to see if I can put my chair a little bit to the side here, because there's more room for me then. Get back. Oh my goodness. It's how she's looking right now. Gorgeous. And down here we of course have the flared fan bottom. That would be that, basically. But you don't see it as much when you kind of hold it up in full. Then it's more like, just imagine how beautiful I am. It's definitely growing, for sure. But it is not the quickest growth. But we are going to have a lot of hat collectors in the coming lives, because you guys know that we made a priority, and that priority is to, for me, focus on getting them done, or getting this one done. There's two benefits to it. Benefit one, I get the cakes out of my stash. Benefit two, I hope to be able to block it in the beginning of July. I will have some time for myself here home alone, and yeah, that's basically likely what it's going to be. So we are gonna change screen, and we are gonna find as well, here was the start of the new cake. So yeah, we've had some, it's called priority choices of how one choose to spend money, I guess. I'd love an air conditioning, especially in this heat, but it's not as bad as I'm like sticking to everywhere yet. It is going to cool down a bit, because it's going to be like, my weather forecast basically says like rain. This, my friends, is how we are looking the coming 10 days. We are cooling down again, and it's wet. Don't know what to think about it, except, well, wet. That's so with that weather, I don't need an air conditioning. I'm almost needing a heater. Not completely, but yeah. Start building that boat. The floats are coming. Yeah, well, we do have some really, really great dams here in the Netherlands. We are also quite known for building them. So I guess that's something. Um, and uh, and yeah, Do, do, do. That will be the other side of it. We How can I say that best? Yeah, we are quite used to water management, so that's not the issue. Yeah, water management is something they know very well here in the Netherlands. We've really seen some water coming by, so we always get all the water in the spring when it melts from the Alps. It passes along. And it is still like this. If a dike breaks here in the area, I'm told to run to the attic because that won't flood. It is a very flat country, and water management is definitely something that they know how to do here, I will have to say. We have lower and higher dikes. The lower dikes get flooded quite regularly, at least almost once a year. And then they have the higher dikes, which can breach, but that happens very rarely. That's only at extreme situations. Um, but yeah, water management seems to be something we are good at. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Good morning, Jessica. Lovely to have you with us again today. So, as you know, what is everybody working on? Good question from Rev. So, my surprise, I'm working on the heart collectors once again. As I said, I did start a TV project. I just need to kind of sit down and make a decision on if I need to make one more row of the crown or not. And well, that takes a little bit of decision time. I need to think, look at the patterns, see what the options are for the different sizes, and make a decision based on that. Depends on a bit of how many rows compared to the previous ones I made, and I know how much yarn those take because I only have exactly 2 skeins, so it is going to be a smaller version. But that is all right. Revis is still messing with his donation blanket. He says there's another 5 rows before it reaches its final size. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I should actually just to be sure. I should probably find the pattern. Not that I think I will need it much today. Well, I will at some stage because we are on the second part, I think. Didn't I do that already? Yeah, I did. So we will definitely finish the row I'm currently working on, which is, I believe, row 48 still. 48 feels like it takes forever and ever. But it is 48. Oh. Also, today I have no tea, and that is simply due to weather. When it gets these like 30 plus-ish degrees outside, I am just not a tea drinker. I am on the lemonade, so I have a raspberry lemonade for those interested. Warmly recommend. 8, 10, yeah. And of course, we all need to remember to hydrate. So, what happens is right now, first it said thunderstorms would be late in the afternoon, then it would be around dinner time, and now it's moved to like 7-ish p.m. tonight. I will have to check once in a while how weather looks outside, because if it starts winding up and if it starts like potentially raining, I will have to take in our sunscreen. I already did some of it, but I still hold it out because if the sunscreen is not out, this room is going to get boiling hot. So if I suddenly say I have to run for 5 minutes, then it's because I need to save our sunscreen before it blows away or gets too wet, because it's not good for it if it's wet and we have to roll it up wet. Um, Jessica says, I printed the pattern for the Heart Collector's shawl and it's like 52 pages. I was oh my God, a little intimidated. Yeah, well, it's huge. But Jessica, it's because every row is different. It's not like a big difference on the row, but it's different enough for you to like, you need to read a row, but it's not. So the shawl itself, like, it's only um chains, single crochets, and double crochets. So stitch wise, it's easy, but you need to read the pattern, and because every row is sort of different. And in that sense, yeah, it's a bit intimidating, but it is not as difficult as it looks. I can promise you that. Should you have some questions, I will be happy to try help, even though probably the crate of it would be easier. 6, 10. Rose says it's still so weird that European lemonade is sparkling. This lemonade isn't sparkling. It is basically a flavored um, that you thin up with water. So it's just a lemonade that you thin up with water. I don't have sparkling. That I would call soft drink in the sense of drink, soda. I would call it literally because that's what it is. It's a sodavand in Danish, soda water. Lemonade is like more like a juice, but not like a juice from directly from fruits, but it's the flavor of the fruits that's turned into a syrup, and the syrup you thin up with water and you get this kind of lemonade, what I'm drinking, if that makes sense. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh yeah, and Jessica, I warmly recommend you to, once you get further into the pattern, make sure you count them every so often, because if you don't want to frog when you get to row 48 some odd like me. No, I can not recommend. But yeah, so I kind of hope we can get this one finished still, and I will keep working on it also outside of the lives. It's just so big that, it's gonna be taking forever if I don't. So the motivation is definitely there to have it done before July. Um, I am realizing I do not have any background music playing. I probably should go ahead and get myself some music in my headset. Just for the social aspect of it. Oh, let's see what we can find today. There we are. So it sounds like we're all cracking on. 4, 6, 8, 10. So for the lives, it means that I will be live again on Monday. And of course, it's also the 1st of June on Monday. But going live on Monday means that I won't reach to make the summary for the consumption of May. So you will get that one Tuesday instead. And then Wednesday I'll be live as well. Then we're heading into the Yarn Talk videos Friday. So that is how next week currently is looking. And of course, Monday we are gonna sort stash. And I believe that we hit like the 11-year marker. That means that currently in my Ravelry, I have 11 years of yarn consumption stashed based on my current average yearly consumption. So I should be able to outlive my stash so far, but you know, I haven't stashed all, not even close to have done that yet. So brace yourselves. More is going to be coming. Oh, I wonder what that one is doing out there. Trailer. Try imagine that. It's already June on Monday. Oh my goodness, how time flies. Can't believe it myself. Susan says 11 years is not too bad. No, right now it's not too bad. I totally agree, but I fear it's like a third of my stash only. That's the bad thing. I don't know what it is in reality. Like if I look at how much space it occupies, that's probably only a quarter. I don't know. We'll see. I will keep cracking on sorting and stacking it on Ravelry. And we will have to see where it ends once done. That much more we can do, I guess. And the problem is, I still keep seeing yarn where I'm like, oh, I'd like to get this yarn. And I'm like, no, 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 I should not buy yarn. I should not buy yarn. I should not buy yarn. But at some stage, I will probably end up buying some because I can't help myself. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What I really should do is I should really go through the yarns that I'm like, okay, I am never gonna use this, and I should just probably offload them. Give them away or sell them or whatever. Jessica says I'm always looking at yarn. I think I could say the same. I am almost always looking at yarn. Regularly would definitely be very correct. I guess it inspires me. 4, 6, 8, 10. Susan is like, oh, 11 years is only like a quarter. So I don't know. It's a guess, Susan. I have no clue because I haven't stacked it all. I haven't stashed it all yet. That's my problem. I'm just trying to estimate based on how much we've gone through and how much I still think I have. I have like 5 big Stanley boxes filled to the brim. Yarns are from also other places than Stanley, also some ice yarns in them. I have at least 2 sacks of ice yarns somewhere. I have a whole other big box, also mainly containing ice yarns. Then, of course, we haven't talking about some of my cotton yarns either. Yeah. So there is still a few videos to come, to say the least. The next question is, what are we gonna do on the Mondays instead? Once I'm done with going through all this, need to figure out other projects we can do. Make tutorials, chit-chatting. I don't know. Those Mondays I can't go live. What I could consider, of course, is doing yarn talks instead on the Mondays. I think I used to do that. Like long time ago. And then I changed that to Fridays because I came better out in my general. Yeah. We will have to see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Pick a pattern for anyone who wants to join. Also possible, I guess. We are getting a little bit closer to the magic 2K subscriber number, where I said I am going to purchase a Ravelry pattern free of choice to the winner. But we are not there yet. I don't know. It would be cool if we make it before the end of the year, of course. Start a new project on Mondays. You think that's a good idea? I would have like loads of VIPs then. Unless it's all small projects. I could consider, I have been debating, so I have all those mini amigurumi books. I could have a look at my yarn stash and basically start making keychains or something like that in these like tiny small cotton ones. Monday Makes. Good idea. Monday Makes would be a nice series, actually. One Skein Wonder Mondays. Every week you pick a skein project, one skein project, attempt to get it done in the week. Yeah, yeah. It needs to be something I can prepare before the Mondays, though. So it needs to be a video I can record in advance. That's still definitely possible. I've also been debating on making a few stitch tutorials, to be honest, because what I ideally would like to do once I get back into tutorial making, I've made a few, is that I could elaborate the stitches used in them, and in the description of the videos, I can then link to the stitch tutorials as well. So if people would like to get it deeper explained than what I do in the maybe whatever make video, then people can actually go to these. So that is something I'd like to do for the logic part of it. And the idea of making all these small keychains is also not a bad idea either. Mini Mondays, so for these mini amigurumis. So yeah, we definitely have some ideas on the table. So that's a start. I also know there's a couple of new books coming out. I want to make these quick reviews of them as well. That's also good for Monday videos. It's a two-part video. Week 1's short, but you explain the idea and show a few skeins and few options and pick one. Week 2 on what the first half is last week's project and then picking the next week's. Ah, that could be an idea. But yeah, if it's something that needs to be finished in a week, it's gonna be like mini Monday makes. I made a stitch too many. Froggy. 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so basically the first is a rather short one and then they get longer, but we're still talking like 10-minute videos or something like that. Good morning, Lisa. And yes, do please tap the like because that helps me so very much. We can get more Yarny friends. We'd like more Yarny friends. I am going to move you a little bit. Because my tablet decided to update just before I started, but I see it's done now. So this week I'm knitting a hat by Double Strand in this skein. Yep. Crack on my skeins. I can. It's a great idea. I definitely can. That was also why I was thinking of the small keychains actually. Of different animals and all that stuff. They could be kind of cute. Little addition. I do still need to get my store updated. Maybe this weekend I have time to get everything sorted. I also have the bucket hats that needs to go up and then get the final things sorted for the US shipping and pre-collecting of the tariffs because I would be able to prepay the tariffs via my postal service before shipping. So that's already done and therefore theoretically you should not occur any extra taxes when purchasing. It will have to go for a test, I guess. But that is my little dream. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Meanwhile, Lisa says I needed a break from the Stephen West show, so I started another. Oh my goodness. Well, nothing wrong with a few shawls going on there. I have 2 shawls on the hooks, except one hasn't been touched for like 2 months. I hope it's not crying. It's definitely blue from the lack of air it's getting. You know, it's in a zipper bag, so. And it is light blue, fair enough. And my next knitting project is probably gonna be a bit bigger than a beanie. I have debated I could make that to a video as well, like a short one, because it's basically another story of its own. This one is this one is crochet. It's the new red teapot one, and it's Christmas gift. So you're on good time. I have no Christmas gifts planned this year from crafting. Like 0. Maybe I will later this year, but right now my Christmas is spent in the Netherlands. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which means that I will only see my mom-in-law and my partner on Christmas Eve, likely, and he definitely doesn't do it in knit or crochet. She may do a little, but I am not sold that she will be accepting that as well. She would probably be pleased. She will understand the work it takes. But she's not really a crafter herself, actually. She's more the type that lays a puzzle rather than knit or crochet. I don't think I've ever seen her with neither knitting needles or crochet, but she does know like the terms for a double crochet in Dutch and so on, so she knows how to, but I don't think she's done it for I don't know how many years. Susan is asking which West shawl Lisa is knitting, and Lisa is saying she's knitting the Dustland shawl, not a typical Stephen West shawl. Oh, next week, Tuesday. Not next week, Tuesday, but in 2 weeks' time, 2.5 weeks' time, I will be off to Amsterdam for a goodbye lunch with my colleague. One of my colleagues is stopping at the office. She's going back home to Sweden, which means that we'll have a new colleague. And well, she's already in training with the new colleague, but I mean, Emma, which is the girl's name of who's leaving us, she will be out by June 30th because she's moving back home to Sweden. She finished her education. 8:10. So we are having a goodbye lunch. So I will go all the way to Amsterdam to do that. I may curiously check if I could visit a store when I'm there, but I don't know if I will manage. I am keen to do it at some stage. Also depends on the weather, because obviously if it's pouring down rain, it is not going to be fun walking in Amsterdam. The weather in Quebec, Canada, is currently partly cloudy with a temperature of 46 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 8 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from north at 3 miles per hour, so it's almost wind still. Current humidity 71. That is a lot colder than here, I can tell you. Susan says that the shawl looks fun, but long knit rows can be exhausting. Oh yeah. But at the same time, it's just if it's just straight ahead. I guess it's more like you get bored because you don't feel much is happening and you can't see much is happening. It's a little bit like this shawl right now. The only reason I know there's progress is because I have the cake changes, because the colors change so slowly due to using 3 cakes, right? Jessica says it's been everywhere. The weather last week was very hot, and now it's oh my goodness. It is definitely in its mood on its own. We started like with a very, very nice spring, and then it was really cold, and now it's been really hot, and now it's going back to like more normal temperatures, but rain next week. Temperature today has definitely been a place where I've set myself that I'd rather not have shoes on, because like the thought of socks and shoes is warm. I also have a team competition tonight I have to partake in. And I am so happy we got an air conditioning now at the range, because else that would have been hot. I mean, really hot. I'm doing it in a light fingering weight yard. I'm using this Stanley candy cake, and it's going to take a long time. Yeah, what is the weather in Winkler? Currently, it is fair with a temperature of 7 degrees Fahrenheit to about 21 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from the south-southwest at 4 miles per hour, and the current temperature is 65. It's definitely warmer than Quebec. But here right now the sun is shining, and it's still reasonably wind still, so who knows, maybe all the bad weather will first be tonight. It's not impossible. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. Quebec is very far away from me, like multiple European countries apart. Like basically the other side, something like that. I did my heritage, and I found I have English, Irish, and Scottish blood. Well, I guess that's not a bigger surprise, in the sense of like there is a lot of people did immigrate back then, right? To the New World. Though I did believe that Quebec was more of a French-speaking state. I did not check my heritage, but I'm quite sure I'm just Scandinavian Viking, I hope. Jan uses update at 86 games used so far this year. Oh my god. 86. Man, Rev, that's crazy, dude. I am not at that amount by any means. Okay. Maybe if I used smaller skeins, I would get there. I mean, 1,000-meter cakes like this, which is sport weight, takes forever. 8, 10. Does take forever to get through. Really takes forever. Hello, Jan, for more. Welcome to this live. Grab something to drink, sit down, hit the like button, and if you have, you have subscribed, of course, else you couldn't chat with us. Good to see you. According to Ref, he's a Euro mod, but it's unsurprising as my aunt did a family tree, and we are all directly related to a fairly prominent English noble house, so lots of alliance marriages. Well, I'm probably also some sort of a mod somewhere. And Lisa booked the trip for August yesterday. Ooh, sweet. Where are you headed off to? Is the curious me saying. I had an invite this weekend I did not tell you guys about. I had an open invite to come to Jersey. Jersey is a small English Channel Island. And I have some people I know who lives in Jersey, and they were like, "Oh, that would be so cool if you come over. I'd be happy to show you around." And also, they knew that there were people wanting probably to get my ear pluggies, so I could bring my business and make some money on my vacation. And I could probably also even do some sort of a training day or whatever, for people that would be interested in knowing. So I am almost keen on doing that if it wasn't because I'm also busy with work and everything else. And I also need to look at when I will go home for an autumn trip. And I guess that also depends a little bit on, are we, as in me and my partner, heading off to a small vacation as well at some stage? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, there are still some open things. I definitely need an autumn trip to my parents planned. I just can't decide if I'm gonna do that in August, September, or October. October is probably gonna be too busy, so my best guess it's gonna be either August or September. And of course, I'm also going in the end of July with my partner. So this is more like an extra trip kind of thing. Ah, Mexico for a wedding. Is that the wedding where you're making the shawl for? Earlier this spring. Rev says I have a coat of arms and a family motto, so that is fun. I would share, but I don't not wish to dox myself. Don't worry. I have no reason not to believe you. No coat of arms, no family motto, but we do have, my auntie also did lots of family tree looking into. And there was a period back in the, I don't know if it's 1800, 1700, 1800 something, where we do have an unknown dad on one side. And at that time, it was a king that tended to have lots of children around the countryside with various women, but they weren't officially announced. But so we always said, "Oh, we have royal blood," but it's more meant as a joke, I'm quite sure. And it's so many years ago. It's like 200 years ago, probably, if not even longer. I mean, we do laugh a bit about it because it happens to be an unknown one, but who knows if she got raped or what not, or if she just couldn't manage to get the boy to admit that he had made her pregnant. Lots of stories back then, right? Bye bye. Yeah, and for more is leaving. Maybe she will be back later. Who knows? That's the wedding, right? Exactly what I remembered. I have to figure out what yarn to use for the heart collector shawl. I'll check what I have for cakes. Depends on how big you want to make it, of course. You would probably need like about 12 to 15, no, 1200 yards for the small, I guess. But if you're doing medium, somewhere between 2000 and 2500 is what you would need. And for large, 3000 plus. And I'm doing the large, so that's why I'm sitting here with 3 cakes. I think if you have like 3 cakes of the Hirschner Millens, which is very similar to like the Hobbies Cotton Kings or even the Twisters, you would probably be pretty safe on that. Or even the yarn art cakes would work great. That's similar to this, right? Yarn art's flowers with their rose garden. It could also be that you're so lucky that you may have a cake stashed somewhere from a cake maker. 10. I'm also related to Blackbeard the pirate through his daughter, the most famous person she found. Right. I'm convinced that my husband has some pretty thick Nordic Viking blood. He says no, though. Well, who knows? Who knows? Remember, when we look back, the Vikings actually found North America before Columbus did. So, just saying that theoretically, if we need to start arguing about who found who first, who has the most right, I guess America should be Danish. Hmm. Anyhow, the Danish government is still trying to form a new government after the general elections they had in March. They still haven't decided who is going to do what, but they are slowly getting a bit closer. 6, 8, 10. But it's been so far, I think it's been like 63 or 64 days of negotiations of which parties get into the government and who gets to be ministers and so on. And then that broke down, and then different people were starting to negotiate, and it's just been a bit of a mess. And as I said, the reason for this is basically because the voters couldn't decide who they wanted to vote for, so they voted for a bit of everything. And when you have more than two parties and there isn't a clear winner, they can't agree because everybody wants something, right? And that is what's going on in Denmark. Everybody is wanting to be a part of the government, and everybody is wanting to have a say, and everybody is wanting their politics to be the most important, and yeah, yaddy yaddy. Who's playing this one? Oh, this isn't two sellers. It's someone called Atlas. It is conservatory chamber music backgrounds, and they are playing Imagine Dragons Believer, and it sounds good. So for those curious and want to listen to something, there is no singing, it's just acoustics. I decided to share with you guys. This is the first time I hear them. Mm-hmm. Do you have any weekend plans? For me, I do have a few things to catch up on, but generally speaking, it is pretty calm. Like, I do have a meeting tomorrow, but that includes a barbecue. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. To where I said, but it's gonna get wet, and then their response was, but don't worry, we actually do have a cover on the terrace, and I'm like, okay, if you say so. So I do need to buy some broccoli and make my most infamous a broccoli salad to go with along the sides of the barbecue. So I do need to do a little bit of groceries tomorrow morning, which I knew I had to do at some stage regardless. Lisa has to mow the lawn. That is her big weekend plan. Well, you also do have a fair amount of lawn, so that makes sense. That needs to get mowed. My lawn mows itself because it is plastic. We do have a plastic grass lawn, and the reason for this is my partner is having a very severe hay fever. 6, 8, 10. So when grass gets mown, he starts to sneeze, and if it gets really badly, he will sneeze a lot, and then he gets bloody nose and all that shizzle. So basically, it is intentionally that we do not have grass. Does feel a bit weird because I've been used to grass all my life, but I also don't want my partner running around with a bloody nose just because we have a grass field we need to mow. We don't have a big garden though. Ruff says his wife has a hair appointment tonight, so she's getting her color redone. Tomorrow we will have to head out and get groceries for the week. And other than that, it's just house chores. Maybe with a bit of luck, also the time to chillax with the feet up high and a good cup of coffee. Or whatever else may suit your day. Jessica says she has a course tomorrow for knitting with my friend at the shop she owns, a yarn shop. And then the afternoon, you're working. You work at an antique store. Well, work sucks, but sounds like you may enjoy your work. You know, antique stores can have some interesting stories to tell. I'm in for the knitting course. I'm happy I don't have to work, but it's more like it's not like I mind working, but I'd rather do other things than work, if that makes sense. Oh, that's great. That's great. Jessica enjoys her work. She loves it. That's wonderful. I love my current job, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I feel like work. Like often I feel like doing other things when it's work time. I do have some boring tasks too I need to do. But I mean, I'd rather just 100% decide what I'm doing on my own, if that makes sense. Like, if there was a day I didn't feel like work, I didn't have to work and stuff like that. I guess that's the aspect I miss of being 100% freelancer. But I do not miss the unknown income part. And we were talking a bit for fun last night, me and my partner. And I said, oh my goodness, you know, my pension fund has the idea I need to work another 27 years. I mean, 27 years more of this. Okay, this is not too bad what I'm doing right now. I can definitely do that another 27 years. But the thing is, my partner will retire from the working force somewhere between 13 and 14 years before me because we have an age gap of 12 and a half years. Right? And I don't know if I want to work when he's retired. Like, I'd like to retire with him. That would be the ultimate goal in life. That I would love. I think I would definitely like that. So somehow I need to figure out how I can make that happen. When we started having kids, we decided that my job was taking care of the kids in the house. It was tough sometimes. Yeah, I can imagine that also being tough sometimes. And the big question is also what happens should you have a divorce? Because then you have like no pension build up, no nothing. Are you entitled to half, or did you make prenups and stuff like that? Due to now that the kid are grown, I could work, but I've been out of the working market for 25 years, so I still take care of the house. Yeah. That's what I told my partner too. Hey, I'm already making sure that a lot of things is much more comfortable for you, so you will miss me if I'm gone. Divorce wasn't an option for us. Almost sounds like a forced marriage. But I guess part of it is religion. I don't say people should get divorced. I'm more saying what if, or what happens if he passes away before you? Will you inherit his pension plans and stuff like that, or how would that work? Like there are various rules here in the Netherlands for it. But I also know my partner not being willing to, like, he's having some bad experiences. So if we would ever go ahead and do that, um, we need just lots of stuff to be written down on paper. Not force just our religion, which is fair enough. This is me feeling absolutely not connected with religion. But I do think that people are getting married too quickly today, and thereafter, when it gets difficult, also gets divorced too quickly. That seems to be a general issue of the modern day, if that makes sense what I'm saying. If he passes away, he has a life insurance plan plus an entire business I inherit. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, thank you. So Jessica sent a super chat. So of course we need to party. Yep, that is kind of the music rhyme in my ears. Thank you ever so very much for this. A little support towards my maybe I'll retire when my partner retires, when he retires from the workforce. I don't know. I definitely need to do something. And who knows, maybe I do enjoy it by then, but because we were also talking, oh, but then when we retired, we have so much time to travel. I'm like, yes, we do. But that would kind of like, I can't travel if I'm still working, unless, of course, I get a lot better agreements or I become self employed again, or I don't know. Choices, my friends. Choices. Meanwhile, Rev says, I would like to point out divorce is actually a good thing. Before it became legal, my husband died under mysterious circumstances was another joke. Oh my goodness, Rev. It could also have been my wife died of mysterious circumstances, not just the husband, right? So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Lisa says, I'm really trying not to brag, but there is enough money that I can live very comfortable for the rest of my life, no matter how long I live. That's great, Lisa. That's great. And I know your husband has been very successful with what he's doing. And we need to remember to be appreciative of when we have had luck in life, right? I can definitely not live with whatever I have until I die or get retired. Not yet. I would need more. That's as simple as is. And it's gonna be a freaking mess when I get my public pension, whatever thingy, basic pension, because I will have a part from Denmark and a part from the Netherlands, and it's gonna be it's gonna be a mess. to say the least. There is 7 years between Jessica and her husband. Yeah, there's 12.5 years between me and mine. Husband. We aren't married. We aren't even in a registered partnership. We are living in sin, according to some churches, I would say. But we have it well together, and that's what's most important. And we are both fine with the constellation we have. He claims I've been in a very expensive friendship. I can imagine that was special in the beginning when I did not have that much money and I was traveling a lot for my sport. Now I can luckily pay more things. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm not inherently against divorce in all circumstances, but like Stine said, I feel a lot of people get married too fast and divorced too fast. Yeah. And I think, I'm not against marriage. Just because I'm not married doesn't mean I'm against it. It does have its benefits, most definitely. It's just not something I have the need or the urge to do. And my partner has been married before, and he had a bit of a bad experience with it. Divorces can be expensive as well. And he just doesn't want to go through that again, which I'm understandable. Like, fair enough. But yeah, I would. At some stage, we'll need to like secure each other a little bit better than we currently have. But for me, it's more important that people live how they like to live, and as long as they have a good time, that they are happy. 10. Very general statement here, but a lot of people don't want to work to make the marriage work. However, if there is any type of abuse, that's a different story. There's also my beliefs for myself. I do not try to impose them on other people, just for your information. Rev says, I'm married because of health insurance rule. We were fine living in sin, but she gets health insurance through her work. That makes good sense as well. Absolutely makes good sense. Jessica says, we have been together for 19 years. Jessica, you're a little bit ahead of me. I've been with my better half for 18 and a month and a half. We started dating in April of 2008. Which I guess would give a really good reason to sometime in April 2028 to go on some travel somewhere. Yeah, me like. Maybe I should also consider in a few years like 8.5, to be on a vacation. In September, we've been married for 24 years, together for 26. Congratulations. My parents lived together for like 10 years in sin before they got married. And they got married because of laws surrounding me as a child. Like if my mom were to pass away before my dad and they weren't married, then I would have to go to like my grandparents or my aunt or whatever to be raised. He wouldn't presume legal what's it called, authority over me, which is like crazy. So that's why they got married. And I guess that's also why I'm pretty loose on the, like, my parents have never had a big urge to desire to necessarily get married. Now they just are, because of practical reasons. Back then laws changed, but they're still married. It's not like they say, okay, well, I guess we'll have a divorce. They did do prenups for other security measures in case of divorce. But that will only be valid in case of a divorce. Before they passed away, my grandparents were married for 66 years. That's impressive. That's impressive. My grandparents didn't reach that because one of them passed away earlier than the other. So that's a sad story part of it. And also, like, my mother's parents were looking at each other for like 10 years before my granddad was actually dareful enough to tell my grandmother that he liked her and asked her out on a date. Took him 10 years to gather the courage. 4, 6, 8, 10. So it could have been different, a lot different. Like my mother could have been older, I could have been older, or maybe I wouldn't have existed because my mom wouldn't have met my dad if they had been quicker. So I guess sometimes it's okay how things go. It's a scary thought, huh? What if? That reminds me of the movie Sliding Doors. Have you ever watched Sliding Doors? It's like a movie back from the 90s, and it tells a story about this woman who takes a subway home from work, and one of them she makes the subway, and therefore she gets home and finds her boyfriend being unfaithful on her, and the other one she misses the subway and does not see that her partner is unfaithful, and that revolves two different stories. It's actually quite good. So if you want to watch a good old movie for how life could have turned out if other choices were made in life, so to say, go watch Sliding Doors. 4, 6, 8, 10. I think it's really from the mid 90s and 90s. Or is it from the beginning 2000? I don't remember. It's from 1998 with Gwyneth Paltrow. It's Sliding Doors. That's a long time ago, my friends. But it was quite good. But as I said, it's really old. Really old. Oh, my mom is so kind to inform me of another part of the story of the marriage. The prenup was made due to, in the event that my dad would pass away before my mom, then it was to prevent that my mom wouldn't have to go to court to argue legal matters, because my dad has 2 kids before me, but they are not, they're half siblings to me. And that would be, yeah, that would have been uncool if my siblings suddenly had rights to the house that my mom would then live in. So there was also some reasoning for that. After that, though, my siblings did get adopted by their adoptive father, who was in a relation with the mom at the time. I'm fine with my siblings today, and there is like no issues at all. But it's just, laws and weird stuff. Ruff says, my wife are coming up on 12 years of being together and 9 being married. Time flies, doesn't it? It's crazy. I can't believe I've been with mine for 18 years. Like, goodly. 18 years. It's like like in a relationship. Our relationship, we're now officially allowed to go take the vote. Really? It's crazy. Feels crazy, at least. Feels very crazy. Guess he was doing something else. I was just checking if the parcel guy was going to stop here, but he is not, I think. We have the calmest relationship, mostly because we have a very clear and open communication. I think people forget to talk, and that's also what happens. Like when people get the divorce, it's just being like, okay, I'm upset with you, I want a divorce, rather than, okay, let's talk about what the problem actually is. Like, I get you upset with me, but why are you upset with me? And is it something I can actually fix? And opposite, by the way. I think it is very important that you make a check-in on your relationship and just check if everybody is happy. Just have a good conversation. What can we do? How can we keep everybody happy? And there is sometimes places where people need to give or take, and that's just how it is. But I mean, if you don't communicate and talk openly about how you feel, it will eventually go wrong. And there is always one that's, I think it's also a bit like some people are afraid of talking because they're afraid about what will people think, right? 6, 8, 10. I mean, in my wife's previous marriage, her former husband would lie to everyone about everything and expect her to keep up his lies. That doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. I would probably have divorced him quicker than whatever. If people don't change, it's not worth it. Especially if people lie. Lies are never worth it. Because the thing is, eventually your lie will fall through. You will not be able to keep lying. At some stage, the story will not match up. Lisa says, it's terrible. I'm so sorry for your wife. Where I totally agree, but I'm happy she was strong enough to actually want a divorce. She married him right out of high school because they had a kid together. Makes sense. But that's when you realize, I guess, which people are jerks and who isn't. You know, things done rushed. I had an old classmate who got pregnant when she was 15 and she refused to get an abortion. And she was with him for a couple of years before they left one another. And I just don't think it was never meant to be. But regardless, when she realized she was pregnant, she refused an abortion because she didn't feel that it was morally right to do, because it wasn't the fault of the child, it was the fault of the grown-ups, if that makes sense. Yeah, things tend to work out most of the time. That's a good thing. And I'm just happy for her, Rev, that she was strong enough at some stage to say, okay, I'm done with this shit. Like, massive respect to her for doing that, because a lot of people don't. They just accept it and keep going on, right? Sometimes I also believe that some shit in life happens for us to get to another place in life that is better for us, if that makes sense. And it makes us much more appreciative of things that are going well. Indeed, good vibes. Good vibes indeed. More good vibes. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Love says we're a good match. We balance each other out. Well, I'm a good match with my partner too. We are so alike on so many aspects. Not on all, but definitely on many. And he's definitely a major part of why I have achieved some of the things I did achieve. Oh, coffee! More coffee. We are hitting super chat goals today. Cheers! Don't forget to hydrate. Do, 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 do. Oh, we are 3 more stitches for the last home stretch. Then Stina gotta read a pattern. I mean, we're almost done with row 48. Meanwhile, Jessica, did you find yarn for your heart collectors? Or are you going to purchase instead? I haven't checked yet. I will check in my stash in a bit. Just working on some lace and keep an eye on my little one. Great. Fair enough, fair enough. I am curious what to choose once you made a choice. Please tell me, because I'd love to see that end result as well. Ooh, somebody was lucky. XYZ received a membership from Rev, so let's celebrate that one. That, by the way, is for all my members. Thank you so much for being a member on this channel. Okay, do I have 1 or 2 at the very end here? Meanwhile, Hershey's finally shipped Lisa's yarn yesterday. It took up to 10 days after the order. Oh my goodness, that patience? I would die. I'd be like, why didn't you ship yet? One double crochet in the next, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 in the last. Okay, so that means that when I've done this, I should be able to count to 21. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 21. Ah, sweet. Stitch counting is adding up. That is a me like. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. Guess what, guys? Round 48! Ka-ching! Complete! Woohoo! I mean, you know, a round just takes 3 hours plus right now, so I'm just woohoo! One more round done! Victory! That's how it feels like. Okay. I just did this, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay, I need to read this. It looks like we are going to make another of these airy ones. Chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, 2 double crochets 2 times. Okay, then it's chain 1, skip 1, double crochet 10 times, which means definitely it's another air project. But that means it's a quick round. Woohoo! We like that. We do like that. That should be a reasonably quick one. I guess I'm just surprised that we have 2 so quickly after another, because I had the idea, like, now if we look at it a bit like this, right? Here, in the beginning, there is nothing, and here it starts having these sort of, and that would have made sense if I would have done a couple of more rows and then another, but apparently this one is coming early. Row 49. I am a little bit in doubt, but I'm sure that's how it's going to be. But I just want to see if I can actually, maybe I should go in Ravelry and find it, because then I can easier zoom in on the photo, because I am not 100% sure. Question for anyone who uses gradient cakes. Do you snip the teeny tails at the color changes? Highly depends on how long those teeny tails are. Rev says, I never trust factory knots. If my project is going to unravel, I want it to be my fault. Well, similar. Well, in this case, I'm cutting them with exception of every third change. In other yarns, I don't either, but gradient cakes are different. Yep, true. Good morning, Christine. Crochets a lot. Newbie crochet, you're welcome to our little crafty corner. Bring your VIP, grab something to drink, sit down and craft with us. If you have questions, we are happy to answer them, at least as far as we are able. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. But when I'm looking at, is that the small one? 3, I would say. Oh, it is indeed. Okay, so I'm going to explain what I'm going to see if I can pop over here. Let's do this. Ta-ta! I found one of the other people's makes, and if I look at this 1, 2, 3, and very short 4, and that is basically where I am. Except I'm probably gonna make it bigger than this. And then it goes back into, I guess there's some place otherwise the stitch count won't match up. Here it's difficult to see. Maybe. Here's also like difficult to see. But I have to say it's gorgeous, huh? Woohoo. That's a big one. But when I'm looking at this, it makes sense. So I'm going to trust the process. Okay, here it's like impossible to see almost because it's so dark. But here it's also only one between. So that's true. This one is a smaller version because it stops here. So it's a small shawl. But we aren't stopping at small. Okay, cool. Then I'll follow the pattern, and apparently it is a short one. It's just it just didn't make sense because of the like how it's been going so far. But that's cool. It means a quicker row for me. Hallelujah. We like quick stuff. Everybody says good morning to Christine. Christine says, can I use 2 different sized hooks and yarn in one granny square because I want my middle row to be a certain color, but it's a 3 weight and the rest is a 4 weight? Yeah, it might not sit flat if you do that. It kind of depends on what then purpose is. Jessica says, when I find the yarn, I can send you a picture to you on Instagram. You're welcome to send a picture to me on Instagram. Absolutely. Rev says I would not recommend mixing yarn weights. Generally, I wouldn't recommend either unless you're making some sort of a scrappy project. So let's say if you're making like a scrap bag or something like that, sometimes mixing yarns would be okay, but it needs to be something close to one another because they have a sweater. It's a Danish design sweater. They use all sorts of scraps, all mixed together, knitted together, and it looks funky chunky. But that's kind of the look you might risk getting. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's called something specific. What's her name again? Ooh. It's like my mood sweater or something like that. It's by Lærke Bakker. And she makes interesting patterns. Let me pop in. She actually has a Ravelry for those curious. So let me just pop over and make a bit of advertisement for her. She is pretty awesome design-wise. The Inner Child sweater is called. It's what it's called. This Inner Child sweater is basically made with whatever scrap yarns you have. And that is kind of how it turns out. It looks funky here and there and so on. But again, that's the intent of it. So if you use the same hook size for a smaller yarn, that yarn will go more airy. So assume that you're making a granny square type with a pattern in it, and it needs a little bit of an airy gap. Then it's not a problem, I think. But if you want to have it the same sort of texture throughout, I wouldn't do it. Because as you can see here, this is different yarns, different textures, different, like probably on the same knitting needle though, but even then here you get different textures. So what is if you use a thinner yarn and you use a smaller hook, it will become smaller gauge wise. And it will still become smaller gauge wise even if You keep to the same hook, but because the yarn gets thinner, but not as big of a difference. I would say make a small test and compare. That probably would be my best suggestion. Meanwhile, Christine says, "Oh, thank you. You guys are a wealth of knowledge." Well, we're happy to share that. It's also one of the reasons I do these lives. We enjoy hanging out with one another. We enjoy crocheting together. We enjoy chit-chatting about literally everything. The topic here is everything. We try to not keep it too political, or at least neutral political when it talks politics. But generally, we are very open about any topic here, both within knitting, crocheting, crafting, life in general, theories, whatever. We're just like, consider us your crafting club. That would be a good way to describe it, I think. Okay, so I am about to start row 49 on this huge shawl. I tell you, it is getting huge. So we sort of turned the work around, and we do have some ends that needs to get woven in here. So I will do that when I passed the row, because that is a time ago. So I should be able to safely weave in those ends. But what we start by doing is we should chain 3, but we do not. We stack the doubles, singles to become a double. You know that. That is what I do because I think it gives a much cleaner edge than my chains. And then we'll do 2 double crochets in that same stitch, and we will insert my stitch marker so I know where the top is of those stacked singles. That is right there for when I need them in about a row's time, in 3.5 hours of crafty work or so, or maybe a bit less, because as I said, this is like, it's an airy row. So okay, we did that. Then we need to do double crochets in the next stitch 2 times. So I guess that means that twice we need to do that. So the following 2 stitches we need to work in 2 double crochets. That is so far easy. And then we will find out soon enough when we get to the bottom of this if that matches what I'm supposed to do. Then it's chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and work in a double crochet. And we need to do that 10 times. So we will see where we are after 10 times, but technically we should just be at the bottom. So that is what we are doing. Yep, same hoop for both. Christine seems to think my efforts to just crochet regular with the same yarn will still make WIP look scrappy. Newbie problems. It's called practice makes perfect. It often when the project looks scrappy, it's often related to your tension. So if the tension isn't the same on the yarn throughout the crochet, then when it's looser, it will go sloppier. And when it gets tighter, it will go like wrinklier, so to say, like on a line and so on. So personally, I use my fingers. So many people just take the yarns around and then hold on. But especially because I use thinner yarns, I don't find that's working. So I tend to wrap the yarn about my little finger. So I control it like this. so I have like a double tension. That tends to, it just flows. I don't do much for the holding, but it just holds enough to keep the tension the same. So if your tension is the same of your work, then you will experience it less scrappy looking. So I would recommend you to take a good look at your tension and ensure the tension is the same. That is how to improve that. Good. We are technically at the bottom, so I should have 10 now. So let's count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Woohoo! I do have 10. Chinga chinga ching. So we need to skip 2. 1, 2. This is actually where I really need to pay attention because this was where we ended up frocking work last time. So we need to make 4. And then 2, 2, 2. And then on the other side, that should actually be technically very easy. But, you know, that does not always match up. Just because it should be does not mean it is. So we should have 2. Technically, we then have 5. Oh yeah, because we still need to double crochet in the next stitch. I did. Okay, good. And then 2, 2, 2 in the space. Okay. Yeah, okay. I am good. I can close down the pattern again for the next 100 stitches. Plus. Scrappy can be scrappy on purpose. Indeed, it can. Lisa has an account that she needs to tell us about. Oh. Christine says, I want to grow into an expert crochet to shawls and patterns with more than 1 row repeats. It will come, don't worry. It's practice. It's really a practice per question here. I am personally a big shawl maker. I enjoy making shawls. That's probably what I make most of. But I also make other things. One, two, three. So now it's chain, skip, double crochet. There are plenty of other simple projects out there where you could do 1, 2, or 3 row repeats. For example, the Varish shawl. I have a tutorial on it here on my YouTube channel. That is a 4 row repeat. Lisa says, I was working on the shawl while we were waiting to pick up my son from driving classes. A lady saw me and came over before saying anything else. She just said I was lazy. What? Jessica says, I can't send a picture on Instagram. I'm sorry. But Jessica, you can also mail me if you want, if that's easier for you. I will share my email in the chat. Just give me a minute. Bye. Just also need to be able to type it correctly because else you have nothing from it. If that's easier, you are welcome to email me as well. I'll just tap it on top. And we can have a look at it. Good luck, Christine. Keep stitching. Indeed, Susan. Everybody needs to keep practicing. Meanwhile, Lisa says, because I put stitch markers in first, last, and center, I shouldn't have to need stitch markers. I just responded to her. That isn't great that she can. That isn't it great that she can use her yarn how she wants, and I can do the same. I indeed agree. I have stitch markers at the very start because that helps me keep track of my first stitch. I could probably do it without. It just quickens my work. I need to think less. And my center, luckily, is so different from the rest that I can easily quickly see when it gets to there. Lisa says, Christine, it just takes time, practice, and perseverance. I'm a baby knitter at the same time for me with that right now. It's just a question of practicing, as with everything. Crazy. Anyhow, popping over to my email, just in case. Oh, that's gorgeous too. Oh, there's so many things I want to do. It's bad. Anyhow, sent on Instagram or on Gmail. Because right now I have nothing. And I double check spelling. Nope. But maybe we just need to be patient. Patient is not my middle name. I can make these shawls without stitch markers, but why fight to see the first stitch? Sometimes it's a little difficult to see these bitty stitches. I think it's working smart. Exactly. Like, why think more than you need to think? Keep the thinking energy all for the difficult bits. Just saying. So that's 2, 2, 2. That's the same. Okay. I don't know why I'm not getting anything. Unfortunately, right now, Jessica, I'm not getting an email. And it's quite important to say there is a dot between by dot Muirhoy. It's a full part of the, it's not just, that's a full email. There's a dot in it. I often experience people remove the dot or don't do the by dot at all. Lisa, that was just an insert your favorite four-letter word here that wanted to brag that they were so awesome. That pathetic little insert second more careful approach of your well, no need to brag. I don't like there are patterns at some stage where I realized like so for example when I was making fleur, I think the first year I used very vigorously stitch markers in every corner stitch. But the last maybe half year I was working on it, I didn't need them anymore because I had learned how to see the difference. And then I changed to only having a stitch marker to keep track of the project to kind of like so it wouldn't unravel plus at the starting marker, and that was it. Oh, believe me, I had a rainbow of words going through my mind when she said that. Yeah, fuck off, do your own thing. Please note, I do not have beep, 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 beep when I talk. I'm just very honest and blunt. That is reality of life. There may be profanity words, not intentionally, but they may happen. They may occur. Yeah, Fleur is not being sold, and I'm not so sure once I'm done with this, I could even convince myself to remotely think about selling. I love stitch markers, Susan says. Yeah, I think we all love stitch markers. Well, I wouldn't even want to consider making amigurumi and plushie yarn without stitch markers. Like, no thank you. That's just not happening at all. I used corner markers first and last for the stitch your Dizzy blanket because with the post work sometimes those stitches would get hidden. That makes sense. Yep, no extra stitches so far. Ha ha. Awesome. That's always great. No extra stitches. It's matching up here at my end. Meanwhile, it is almost 4 p.m. here in the Netherlands. Well, it is just 2 minutes past 4. Crazy how time flies. That is crazy, to be honest. I can't believe that we already this far into the day. And meanwhile, don't forget to do the hydration. Mm-mm-mm. Stitch markers are a tool just like a hook. I don't know why some people think that they are a weakness. They aren't a weakness. They are definitely a tool. And why wouldn't you use all tools available? That's stupid not to. Maybe it's in the junk folder. I will check. That could be. Oh, yes! It landed in my junk. Oh, Jessica, what awful. It's because probably I've had lots of weird. I Wonderful. Now, when you're talking about junk mail, I saw a junk mail saying that they would love to give me 15.5 million euros, which I'm quite sure that is a scam, especially since I see the email and I'm like, no, that's definitely spam. Ooh, that's gorgeous. We will just pop over here to have a look at the yarns that Jessica's gonna be using for. This looks like twisters. This one I don't know. But that one, that top one, oh my goodness. Are you so lucky to have like 2 of them? Then you could like make a medium one and just like with what I do basically flip colors around. That could be gorgeous. That could be really gorgeous. And what you could consider if you really want to like have like, so I see some of the photos on the pattern is not necessarily with, let me pop back over. It's not necessarily, I just have this because I think it looks nice. But you know, you could also just technically begin the start color, which would be here in here. That would probably also work, though I think it's nicer because it stands out. It did take some time to find the right one and do everything with here, so. And I still feel that I did the single crochet too tight around because it still wants to. Like the hat lays flat, but the edge where the single crochets are doesn't completely want to. Part of me also feels maybe, I don't know. It's okay. It's what it is. I shouldn't think too much about it. That's gorgeous. Indeed, it had landed in my spam. What horrible. Lisa says, is it from a Nigerian prince? No, it's some sort of development, blah, 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 for companies. But I don't need 15.5 million euros to develop my website. Because I'm quite sure that is a scam. The way it's written, I already deleted it. I'm like, nah, that's probably not real. I mean, why would they want to provide me with 15.5 billion to develop my, or million to develop my company? Like out of nowhere. I mean, what I also get a lot of are these people who want to get a commission to help me sell. For example, listen here. Hi there. With a detailed sketch diagram, I helped the brand in your niche grow from $0 to $30,000 in 3 months. The same sketch roadmap is what your brand needs at this stage. Send your best social media and I'm happy to share it. Blah, blah, blah. And bottom line is eventually they will want money for a certain percentage and whatnot. But it's not even realistic because if I were to make 30,000, even revenue from a web store, it's not physical possible because let's realistic, like, you know, I can't even make that many products, right? or I will increase your product sales to 100 sales per month or whatever for 2%. I'm like, I don't need help to increase my product sales to 100 sales per month because I cannot reach to make 100 products per month. So it's just this mass emailing, whatever they're trying to get to make money. And yeah, no, I don't need that. My store will grow or it won't grow. The end. It's based on my own effort. And I haven't made enough effort. That I do know. But I mean, why would I want to pay somebody to quote unquote guarantee X sales for a certain percentage? Because, yeah, that's not needed either. I also had a branding company wanting to have their influencers brand my product. But no, I don't need that either. Like, the amount of extra mail in my inbox, which luckily slowly are getting more into my spam box, generally speaking, from random recipients, are insane. Ah, you have multiple of both. Ah, I would love the blue purple one, personally speaking. That's me. And Lisa also says you could make the heart from the outside of the cake and start with the body, vice versa. And Lisa says she's also a little bit eccentric, so she likes the rainbowish cake. Lisa says that crochet isn't even realistic. Exactly, that's my point. Why, like, I've gotten to a stage where I just read some of these emails for fun and then I delete them because it's ridiculous, right? Here, let's just pop in. Let's just share my screen. You can get fun reading with me. I mean, here we go. Hi, unlock your 300 plus orders in 30 days and 100 in just 7 days. Interested? Not really. Delete forever. Yes, please. It's my spam boxes. Let's see what the next one says. Hi, Bamyohoi. I noticed some opportunities in your store could leverage better. I believe I can help generate at least 5K plus in revenue consistently. Drop your WhatsApp number and I sell the full breakdown. Not happening. You're not getting my private number. And I'm not going to have a revenue of 5K instantly because I don't even have enough product to be able to do that. Right? So that is the next a fun one. That is definitely another fun one. I should make, like, this is perfect for a video at some stage just for fun. What email should you receive as a Shopify owner? Like, okay, next. Are you open today? Why would I not be open today? It's a web shop. It's an online web shop. But I'm not going to reply because the reply I likely will be getting is, can I help you sell more? Or whatever shit. So, like, if you want something, you buy something. And if you have a question regarding to a specific product, that's fair enough. But are you open today? I'm always open. But I'm not going to reply that because I know I'm going to get shit back. Here, a very nice example. Would a 3% commission be acceptable if I can generate an additional 25 to 30 orders by me within 10 days? Feel free to WhatsApp your number or another suitable contact method so we can discuss in detail. Again, he wants money to help me do 25 to 30 orders. But is 25 to 30 orders realistic? Yeah, well, if we divide all of my products down into single pieces and people won't buy double or something, yeah, that would be possible. Would it happen within 10 days? I do not believe so. Like, kind of same stuff. This is people mass mailing in the hope that somebody will dump in, and maybe they can do it, maybe they cannot. But I mean, yeah, no. This is, are you using email marketing for customer retention? Well, technically I don't, but I'm not gonna say whatever to him because should I make a newsletter? Maybe I should, but honestly, not really because it's not that important right now. No, delete. We're cleaning up my email right now, just for funsies. If the store is still active to accept orders, yes, it would be if you went there, tested, and purchased one. But you're asking because you want to earn money on me, so no, goodbye. Please let me know if you are currently accepting orders or temporary clothing requests. Well, of course I am. But I think that it's still related to you wanting to make money on me, so nope. Wholesale aluminium cases with the best service. Oh, that's new. Hi, we are a high-end original aluminium factory offering sufficient stock, fast delivery, cost-effective prices, blah, blah, blah. They want to sell me product. That's a new one. That's a new one. To save your time, just reply with blah, blah, blah. Send me price list. No, not needed this moment. Well, I don't need to. Just goodbye. Then we have incoming order, which I do not believe in. If I can help you generate an additional $3,000 before May 20th, are you comfortable with 3% commission? I'm not comfortable with that. So no. And it's too late because it's You should definitely know that how AI can help unleash your revenue. But this claims to be Shopify apps, AngloShop. But it's like email at angloshop.et.com. I do not trust this. So yeah, goodbye. That was it. I hope you enjoyed my spam folder. I hope you got to laugh. And oh, I should go ahead and tell my spam folder that Jessica definitely isn't spam. No, 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 no. She's a good person. That's just before I remember not to forget that. But indeed, you did land in my spam. I'm sorry. Fixed. Jessica is now officially in my inbox. Rose says you need a clone who can keep making things to stock your shop, not at a chatbot telling you to post gibberish on a social media. Yeah, definitely. I just need a robot to do stuff for me, and then I don't need to work either because they also fixing my revenue. Like one of the guys did offer me 30,000 in 3 months, right? If I definitely make a 30,000 revenue per 3 months, so that's basically 10,000 per month. I don't need to work. That's more than enough for me. I'll be a happy camper. I mean, if that's a permanent, I'd probably quit my job at some stage even. Or maybe I wouldn't just because I'd like to have something else to do. Well, we get those type of emails too, but we don't even sell physical products. There you see, Lisa. They will generate revenue for you guys? Interesting. They will generate more places where you need to do construction work. Yeah. How many bumps are they going to throw? Susan asks, do your spam emails come through in English? Yeah, they tend to come in English. I think that's also because the store is in English. AI generally results in no net increase, and often it is determined as the time spent editing is more than just composing something from scratch. Also, but I mean, oh goodness. Oh, I forgot something. No, that is for Monday. Of course, that was work related. Or maybe I will give it a go this weekend. It depends on how things flow. That could be. It's embarrassing. I forgot something. Genuinely forgot something. The sun is still shining. At least on my porch it is. Which means that I don't need to worry yet about my sunscreen being out. But I mean, some of these emails is just like they're wasting my time. But at least Gmail has gotten a bit better at catching them. There was a period that were all landing in my inbox, and I was like, "Oh, what's this shit? Oh no, go away." But of course, it is valid that there is a potential customer landing in my spam mail because see, Jessica just sent me a photo, and that was in my spam. Microsoft might end up and go bankrupt due to the Copilot crashing and burning. It currently has a 3.5 user interaction rate. Technically, I do have a Copilot on this new computer. Have I ever used it? No. Have I feel that I need to? No. Skip 2. But I guess it's good to have in the event. I just made sure I got a solid computer. That's what I did. Ooh. Susan made turkey chili for dinner. Meanwhile, Rev says it's worse than the Internet Explorer only existing to install Chrome. Well, actually, I use Firefox rather than Chrome, but I do also have Chrome. I've been an avid Firefox user for years, but I could as well just do Chrome, I guess. Both have its benefits and disadvantages. Rev says, did you give that poor bird a sweater? Maybe. Oh my goodness, turkey chili. We are having a salad, green salad, with cucumbers and tomato, in my case. I did grow a parsnip, sort of like the small ones. I think it's called a parsnip. For my partner. He gets to mix into it. And chili, not chili, yeah, chili dressing could be good. Tuna and a boiled egg. That's dinner. We are salad people today. We do try to get more greens in our diet, and therefore we are trying to generally, if possible, maybe once a week, sometimes it's once every 2 weeks, to have a salad day. So today is salad day. So we are doing salad. And I realized that my local store stopped doing their absolutely amazing. They had an orange chili dressing. And I tell you guys, oh my goodness, that, my friends, was delicious. I mean, really, genuinely yummy. But I don't see them selling it anymore. So that's kind of sad. Hey! My partner just got home from work. Which I'm not sure is a good thing. If he's unwell, maybe. So it sounds like we are gonna head off early today. And then I am going to say we did get work done. And thank you so much for hanging around. And yeah, take care and happy crafting until the next time. Bye.